was very interesting. Yesterday the DC Council had voted 9-3 in favor of returning the Commanders to the old stadium in Washington D.C. Is this a step in the right direction to maybe getting the Washington Redskins back as their team name, or is this like something that they're just trying to get more fans into the stadium?
I think it's just an appropriate change. I think people have, made their voices loud and clear for a number of years on FedEx Field. I know they just named it something else, but I'll still call it FedEx because I don't know exactly what it's called now. But like that stadium has been around for almost 30 years and people have complained about it for almost all of the 30 years. Now, I know with the name switch and all that, Trump was saying he wants them to switch back to the Redskins. We'll see what goes on with that. But in terms of the Commanders, recently just selling to new ownership, a bunch of shared group with Magic Johnson and all them. They're trying to make stuff happen. They've got a competitive team now after drafting Jaden Daniels. Next step is getting out of the stadium. That's usually the butt of the jokes for most NFL teams. So I think
Yeah.
it's good that they did that. I think it's good they put their money where their mouth is. That DC just doesn't really that it shows that at least some elected officials in DC care about I almost said the Redskins care about the Commanders and them wanting to be a part of the actual city instead of just being some side piece in Virginia. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, we talk. We talk about the Commanders going back to the Washington Redskins, the Washington Commanders going back to the Redskins, and we talk about the only reason that the name was changed in the first place because of Gang Snyder. Well, Gang Snyder doesn't own the team anymore, so maybe maybe it's something that this new ownership can look into. Maybe so. We'll see what happens with that. But um,
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know. I guess since we're on the Commanders, I'm curious about this. Are they going to continue from what they built last year? I'm hearing, Jaden Daniels is a top five quarterback. Like, that's gonna be interesting too. But altogether, it's good vibes for yeah, DC and a time and especially with the Commanders, Washington, they there has not been a lot of good vibes with them except that year with RG3. So yeah, exciting times for them. Hopefully they get that new stadium built. It's another one of those. I guess last comment on that. It's another one of those like indoor stadiums. If you look at the interior design, it looks like that's the new thing in the NFL now. It looks exactly like the SoFi Stadium. That's what they all look like now. Like the Titans design sort of looks like that. Titans are a little smaller. I think they're only holding 60, but that's the new NFL like that indoor like stadium for concerts and
new
stuff like that too.
blueprint. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, Timmy, I don't know any thoughts on Washington moving back to DC maybe.
Well, you know, it's a horrible stadium, FedEx Field or whatever. The stadium's horrible. There's always leaks. A few years ago, the wall over at the tunnel collapsed, and somebody fell onto Jalen Hurts. Outside of that, it's a very dangerous field. I don't know if you've seen, but there's serious injuries. Joe Burrow, Alex Smith, somebody else. A bunch of these serious and deadly injuries, or not deadly, but season-ending injuries, were all happening in the same area of the field.
Oh gosh, yeah, I remember
So
that Alex Smith injury. But
yeah,
to be fair, again, because that's what we do here, is there actual evidence that like the field was causing that? Have you like read anything on that? To be fair, I guess.
no, but it's a coincidence that they're all in the same area of the field. Uh, so not Joe Burrow. There's been a ton of big name players that just get hurt in that area of the field, and obviously it's football. You're going to get hurt somewhere. But it's never as bad as that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. I went to FedEx Field one time. I went there in 2013. That was one of the NFL stadiums I've gone to. It was like a Sunday night game versus the Giants, and East Coast sports fans they get ruthless. Like Granny behind me was shouting the F bomb. I was like 11, and they get they get up in arms. But anyways, the stadium, I always thought I like outdoor football. Although some indoor stadiums are good too, but generally I like outdoor football, so that's a plus. I like big stadiums. FedEx Field for a while was the biggest stadium in the NFL. I think they took out some seats, but it's just an ugly looking design. Like I know they're doing the red after like the colors of the, the Commanders, but like it's just like ugly looking. I don't know what it is about it. Someone else could probably explain it better. It just looks ugly to me, and I never like hated it, but I think they could use a new stadium. It's usually empty too. Like the locals just stop showing up to it. So yeah, overall it's good that these guys are moving. But